Alright, hello everybody, this is Demon coming back for another round of Final Fantasy XIV. So, last episode, we had a startling discovery, aka Emmett Selch saw some paintings inside near the Rontika Falls. After we killed the Light Warden, it was able to tell us that all those murals we were seeing are pictures from his time, things that his people witnessed. And we learned that the Ascians are the ones who originally were the creators of most of the shards because of Zodiark. Their people suffered a huge calamity in their time of need. They saw a greater power from Zodiark. Some people seeing Zodiark as a great threat, or perhaps concerned with the amount of power, created Hydaelyn. Hydaelyn then beat Zodiark's ass, because yes. And unfortunately, split the source into multiple shards. And the Ascians are seeking to rejoin them, so now we finally learn why they have so desired to do so. And the sky, I've never seen anything like it. The sky, it's beautiful. So it's really neat thinking about that, because it means the Ascians have a reason, which is he sat there and said, and it was really important, would you not do the same for yours? And he's not wrong. You are returned and unharmed, I see. Indeed, I am pleased to report that the Light Warden is no more, thanks to the large part to you. The death of a single Sin Eater should make such a difference. As our numbers waned, so did too our hope that the ruins we devoted our lives to guarding would ever find its purpose. Yet here you are, the allies for whom we have waited these many centuries, and with your arrival came the chance to pass on our legacy, the ancient wisdom of the Empire. That alone would have been reward enough. Never did we imagine it would serve to banish the light that pervaded these woods. On behalf of the V's, our forebears, and late Emperor Ronka, you have our deepest thanks. It is we who should be taking you. Our journey through the Katana Revolt proved most enlightening. To be privy to such knowledge is an honor, one for which we never hoped. Please, you need not to be so humble. We but do our duty as decreed by the late Emperor, that he was still with us to express his gratitude in person. But sister, does that mean not mean our duty is fulfilled? To our allies perhaps, but the ruins cannot be left unguarded. So long as we live here in the woods, the secrets of Ronka must not fall into the wrong hands. Is Runar still here? No, we escorted him back to Sotherville shortly before you set out. If you would return to Knight's Blessed, we will not keep you any longer. I expect they would be glad of your company. Thank you, Almet. I look forward to a day when we might share a more leisurely visit to the ruins of Ronka. I will return then. Should you have Wisdom of Rock again, you know where to find us. Be it a year from now or 10, we will look forward to your return. Perhaps someday we will visit your home instead. Oh, no. There's a lot of problems. It's actually quite curious if you think about it. So, the late Emperor knew of the murals, and they guarded it until an ally would come. But I don't think we ever get told who the Emperor is, so the Emperor knew something. Had to have known something about the murals. It makes it curious. Was the Emperor an Ascian and knew maybe he was going to die and there was no way to come back? Or maybe it was something with Emmett Selch. Maybe he knew about it and left him there and told him, hey, this is going to happen, and then went back to the source. I mean, that's a good question to ask. It's like, who was the Emperor? Like I said, there's so much in this game I want to know, but there's no way to really find out unless you really start looking in depth. Back.
Ah, you are returned, and none the worse for wear, I see.
You needn't worry about us. What became of the Umoran soldiers, more importantly?
They turned tail and fled at the sight of the night sky. The children of the everlasting dark have also retreated back to Woven Oath. Try as they might, they could not deny the truth of their own eyes.
I mean, it's kind of daylight right now.
The sunless sea of heaven, full of love and grace, where none need know pain or suffering. In that moment, when the sky's light began to wane, I knew our prayers had been answered. That we were doomed to face oblivion at life's end no longer. When first we met, I harbored certain suspicions about you. Now I see that I was right. You are the bringers of shadow, the warriors of darkness, the saviors for whom we have prayed for so long.
I suppose you're not entirely wrong. But we are not worthy of your reverence, nor have we any desire to be worshipped. If you would pray, pray for your children, that they may one day know a better world.
I will do as you say. But please, let us at least hold a feast to celebrate your victory. You deserve that much.
I'm sorry, Runar, but there is still much to be done and scant time in which to do it. We must go. All of us. For we share the same path and the same fate.
So be it. I ask only that you hold us in your hearts, as we would hold you in ours. Now, and ever after. By the boundless dark, this I swear.
Hobbit seems happy. Wait, that was a level 75 mission? Oh god, I gotta remember I'm getting close to ending this. It pains me to leave. It's time I turn with you and the others to the Crystarium. Before we go, might I speak with you in private? I will wait you in my chambers. Oh, I wish you could stay, but I understand the dude calls, and you must answer. Each night I will gaze up at the sunless sea. I will think of you, of Master Matoya, of all of you've done for night's bliss. Safe travels, my friend, and may the shadows keep you. Where'd we else go? Wait, there we go. Alright, Stola, what do you want to talk about? Thank you for coming. I thought to keep my suspicions myself, but after witnessing your video at Ratika Falls, I fear they prove true, so I must share them with you. From the first, when we met at Fort Gone, your ether has appeared tainted, suffused with an overabundance of light, not unlike the Sin Eaters. When you defeated the Light Warden, I fear the light which poured forth from it was not negated by Hydaelyn's blessing, rather was absorbed into your being. Ranjeet suspects as much, though he is unwilling to share his thoughts on the matter. One thing is certain, with every warden you defeat, the danger to you grows greater perhaps than we can imagine. If you begin to feel anything strange, anything at all, pray inform me at once. You should hurry before the others begin to worry. Once I have sorted my things here, I will join you. By going ahead, I would first tend to this unsightly collection of books. I always gonna playing Dead Arcade was such a mess. Books and scrolls thrown about like children's playthings. Gods, I really am turning into her. That's funny. She's bitching about her all the time, having books everywhere. It's like, I wouldn't have a book like that strewn there. Magically enough, she has a book strewn there. Although it doesn't surprise me that Y'shtola thought about warning us about that. I mean, Eorzean kind of has his own thing, and He never really likes to say much. He always has a plan for something stupid. Not stupid, but he always has a plan for something. I actually don't remember when this part ends. I think we're getting dangerously close to the ending of Shadowbringers Part 1. Took one last patrol of the perimeter. All things considered, Sobo remains relatively unscathed. Thanks to the antidote, all those who were poisoned will make a full recovery. With the night sky returned, the prayers have been answered. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Shall we be off then? Art thou certain this is best? I will not die. There's part of me wishes I could stay. For 2 years I have lived with the Blessed, learned their culture, even going so far as to adopt Master Matoy's name as my own. I but pray I did it honor. Now is not the time for doubt or hesitation. Come, let us return to Crystarium. Well, I'm not spending money to travel back. And a Kapuya. Oh, but in all seriousness, no, I have a feeling like I'm nearly done with part 1. I don't know why. My brain somewhat remembers stuff, but it's faint. That, and I also noticed that we're at level 75, and usually it goes to part... It usually... Actually, wait a minute. It's level 76. Wait a minute. Oh, now I'm very intrigued about where it's going. To what's passing strange since I'm so seemingly desolate, yet it appears Al as well. Hopefully the others will arrive before long. I know he said he would be watching from the shadows, but does it seem wrong to leave without at least telling Emmett Selch? All things considered, it's hardly surprising that Alphino and Alize have yet to arrive, but where is the Exarch? My friends, 'tis good to see you all again. Alphino, it's been too long. I assume your presence here means you've brought word of the Warden hiding in Ratika. Killed it. Found insane, you say? I should have known. Eorzean has but recently dispatched soldiers to all corners of Norvont to defend them. I am glad to see their efforts were wasted on the Great Wood. Speaking of Eorzean, what came of our meeting with your meeting with Vol3? Yes, about that. It proved to be... No. Exarch, you must have pushed yourself. Your time away from the tower has clearly taken its toll. No doubt you're all tired as well, having traveled so far. So why don't we take a much-needed rest before we discuss our findings? The road's the very same. After you clash with the Warden, you deserve a chance to recuperate. Settle then. We reconvene after everyone has time to settle in. I have a feeling like part 1's about to end. I don't know why. My brain says no, but my heart says yes. It has to end when we're outside. I just don't remember when. It really irritates me that I don't remember. I don't remember the rest of the way. Sprint. Sprint like the wind. Gotta go fast. Welcome back, Master. Returned from a lengthy excursion, I take it? Well, your room has been ready. If you'd care to retire. Very good. I pray you sound asleep with pleasant dreams. Okay, thank you.
So there's a light sealed inside you, is there? You wouldn't know it from the outside. You look the same as you ever did to me.
I suppose there's naught to do but rest. What if that changes? What if it overwhelms me? I must stay the course for the others. I don't know, I feel like our character would open up to Ardbert. Seems too friendly.
I'm damned if I know. It's not as if I can lift a finger to help myself, much less you. Have faith in your friends, look out for them, and hope that they look out for you. What more can you do?
See? It's good for reinsurance.
Think he was telling the truth? Emmett, I mean. All that rot about Hydaelyn being no different from any other primal. If so, what would that make her blessing? Are we just slaves to her will? Let's pay him no mind. Lies the Ascians stock in trade. Villains, heroes, all a matter of perspective, they'd have you believe. One man's fond memory, another's waking nightmare. Me, I'm no saint or savior. Just another sinner. And I know damn well I'm in no position to judge. When I saw the people of Slitherbow look up at the sky and celebrate the return of the dark, felt good. It was moments like that that I cherished. Much more than the thrill of adventure. The quiet after the storm. I always took comfort in that.
Meanwhile, in Garlemald. Why the hell are we in Garlemald? That's how it felt last night. Definitely felt like this last night.
What did the scouts have to report?
Several skirmishes, but nothing of consequence. The fighting seems to have taken its toll on both sides.
A stalemate, then. The Alliance has done well to hold the line for so long. But then they did have Ishgardian reinforcements.
Nevertheless, neither side has any appetite for a prolonged engagement. 'Tis but the calm before the storm. And should the Empire choose to bring their full might to bear...
To say nothing of Black Rose. All the more reason to hasten our search. How close are your people to identifying our next target?
Close enough, though I have received some troubling intelligence. One of our generals posted to the Alamegan front recently disappeared without trace from the battlefield at Gimlet Dark.
Odd. Dead seems unlikely. Fled less so. I wonder where he'll turn up.
Were I a betting man, I would say here, in the capital. Not that any deserter who valued his life would contemplate returning, but a corpse might, given the right encouragement.
In the manner of his royal remains, you mean?
Elidibus plainly has no need of a new host, so the question becomes who? It may be that another player has joined the game. Something to consider at any rate. But come, there is work to be done.
I wonder where the play is at. It's like he's right next to us.
These bloodless games make for poor sport. Mayhap if father... Nay. I am a stranger to him in this body. Besides, There is but one hand that can make me whole again. My enemy. My friend. I know not what entertainment occupies you, but if you will not clear the way for me, then I shall seize the reins of fate once more.
I hear fighting. Ha ha. I knew I was right. All of you doubted me. Do you find out how it worked? I don't remember that one. I don't really want to make this a shortened episode. But at the same time, it would be a good way to end. I just don't know. It's my problem right now. It's if I continue on, I do part 2, and when we do it at the end. Or I could say part 1 has a finale now. You know what? We'll start part 2. Though the warriors had often seen in restoring the night to Ratika of Greatwood, much of Norvald yet remained shrouded in primordial light. Its Eorzeans at the most of the abominations known as sin eaters, but by the unsettling troops revealed to them by the Ascian Silch, heroes forged alongside their chosen path. The path of villainy. Alrighty, so that'll get us into part 2. I'll actually do this mission. We'll finish it out. I'm fine with that. So you might be awake. I could scarce imagine you sleeping through such commotion. Tower host of Seniors appears to be advancing upon the Crystarium. Emergency measures are being taken as we speak. Assured, however, that we are safe so long as we remain under the Crystal Tower's aegis. You may return to your quarters if you wish. No, I'm not going back. Yes, Ellie might feel that way. I cannot say that your assistance will be anything less than welcome. I must remain here to disseminate information to the other residents, but you are under no such obligation, thus free to aid any of the townsfolk you may be in distress. Exedra tends to become a point of congregation in times of need. Crowded with those seeking soul's companionship, you would have my personal gratitude if you would offer succor to those there. Alright. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll probably finish this one out when we reach the end, and I can head back into the, depending on where we end up at, I'll probably just run either in the Crystal Exarch's room, at the tower, or I might run back into the, in room. Either one sort of works for me, because I can just exit New Game Plus and then discuss it. It's just the fact that I think I would have ended that episode at 20 minutes. And I feel like you guys rather have a little bit more content before I discuss all of part 1. Few townsfolk are about, and you spy none appear in distress. Hey, look, that was it. I've been only just returned from Amarang, yet I find the concerning moments from being set by sin eaters. Where are they coming from? This should be possible to restore the darkness. Yulmore? Oh, this is a fortunate coincidence. Rather, tell me you have some idea why this is happening. I may, but for the moment we need to postpone such discussions in favor of action. The Crystal is prepared to deploy a barrier around the Crystarium as we speak. Sure that he's able to do so should be our first concern. There are a number of instruments placed about the Crystarium that function as anchors for the barrier. I'm on my way to to go activate them. In which case, 3 pairs of hands would be better than 1. Very well. I'll take the one to the south. I shall deal with the northern apparatus then. Will you handle the western two? There are ensconced on platforms extending from the upper level of the Aetherite Plaza. So we're getting you going. Alright, there's that one, and I think this one. I think that's the only two really we gotta do. What's that? I don't remember that area. I wanna go look at that area. Oh. Trading stuff. Trading stuff. I like the fact that I cannot believe I actually remembered this close to the area when that ends. I was like, does part 2 end there, or does it end somewhere else? And my brain was racking through, and I was like, I can't remember. It's been a little while since it's been months since I played part 2 again, and I only did this once for a new game plus because originally I just played right through this. Wow, pretty good. All right. So we gotta activate that anchor to start activating the shield generator. Good. Very low ideas how to function. It appears that you have activated the device successfully. I just like the fact that it just proves the point. It's like your character's completely inept and unable to comprehend the ideas of how this shield generator works. But all you know is you activated the switch, even though chances are you could have did absolutely nothing. I really wish I could summon my goddamn mule. Sucks that I can't, man. I gotta run and sprint to everywhere. I got crippling depression from that. I can't be lazy like everybody else. I'm an unlucky bastard. Alrighty. I actually don't know if there's a... I think we have to talk to somebody to get that. Well, we actually could probably do a little bit of this. And then I can just end the episode a little bit short. Hey, this seems familiar. It's like the same shield we had at Doma. Out towards the,
Senator sighted! They're coming!
I wish I could just run like that infinitely. Birds inbound, flying. Squadron patterns. Dispersed. I'd laugh every time they hit it, they just caught on fire.
Excellent. The barrier is holding.
That's good news for the Crystarium, but what of the rest of Lakeland?
Lena and the city guard have taken to the field. Thancred and the others have already joined them. Let us do the same.
Alright. Actually, I don't know if they immediately take us to this. No, they do not. Okay. Found an adopting act first speak later. I don't doubt the urgency of the situation. Let's go. Alright. I don't doubt the urgency either. But I feel like we got enough playthrough time now to where I can justify ending the episode. I think I started this, what, around 58? So we're cool. 58 to... It's very close to the 30-minute mark, so what I'm going to do actually is head back. So I'm actually going to suspend part 2. I actually want to discuss a little bit with part 1. Hey, look at that, Alize's quest. It's like I'm up here and I really want to do that. Every time I get in this game, and I don't get a new game plus to record for you guys, I see that I really want to go do it. I really want to go play it. So I'm just like, hold. Alrighty. Well, so as I was saying before, fun stuff going on in the game. We finished part 1 out. Part 1's a fun one. I actually do like part 1 a lot. I actually don't know if you can start multiple sections of this. It's very confusing to me. Before I didn't think you could, so that's a good question. Can you? Only progress we knew, your progress spent in the chapter will be lost. Oh, okay, so no, you actually can. It just lets you look at it. So we start Shadowbringers, I think, in a fun little spot. And I can't imagine having gone from part 4 to this and having to sit there and wait to get to Shadowbringers. Like, I'm feeling that now because I want to do more of the finish Shadowbringers DLCs out, or the missions out with the new ones. So I'm feeling that drive to really want to get into this game and play the living hell out of it. But we got a fair bit done. Like Shadowbringers Part 1, and as I said, I think in a previous episode, I'm deciding to do it this way because in theory, Part 4 is... Part 4, I think, is the one we can start. I think they're on 5.45? I don't remember the patch. Actually, it's been a while. I don't know if we're at 5.45 or 5.5. That's just the thing. I've been focusing solely in on knowing when this is done. The other ones I could do like overspanded ones because it made more sense. Like discussing all of this made sense at the same time. Discussing all of Heaven's Word, all of Stormblood, these are all released and done. Shadowbringers was not. So to get into it, going to the Crystal Tower. Thing is there's some discussions with Crystal Tower that you guys probably won't fully understand with. In the recordings themselves, we've never been at the Crystal Tower. That being said, because it's part of an alliance raid. I think it's under Chronicles. Yeah, so Crystal Tower, this is the one you're seeing here. I did that on PlayStation 4 a very long time ago. It's been a while. I'll say that much. It's been a very long while since I played it. And I did it just because I was like into the game at the time. I was just playing to play. And I found that mission and I did it. And after I did it, I had no idea what was going on with it. Really just funny enough. I just happened to go through it, beat it. When we arrive, I like the idea that they use a Ironworks like part to get us here. I just don't understand. It just doesn't really explain too much. It's like, how did a piece of the Ironworks from Sid's shop get there, and how come that's being used to transport us from the source to the first? And they don't really discuss all that much, which makes it really strange. And I know I was like, oh, I don't get any of this. This is really confusing. And after a while, I kind of watched. I was getting into the feel of it, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to understand. The other thing is, when we first arrive, we meet the one guy who's that merchant. I like the fact they use that guy as the merchant, because it kind of brings back Realm Reborn. When we had the one guy we were talking to, that's who it reminds me of a bit. Just random guy, happens to be there, interact with him, and then we head to the Crystal Tower. And I find it hilarious because I know it tells our character that we can answer as when we first talk to the one captain. When we talk to her, you can either answer is you're from Gridania, or you can answer that you are from the source. Now I chose the source, but I've done Gridania as well. And either way, she still accuses you of lying because it's places she's never heard of. She doesn't know where those exist. It doesn't seem to realize that our character is not of this world. We came from a different place. So they have no idea about the source. They think the first is their world and they know nothing else. There's no knowledge there. Which is pretty weird. But then you meet the Crystal Exar. Crystal Exar, that's what you in. You learn about the Sin Eaters after they killed our friend the merchant. And I I found it really strange, though, that the way they have it set up. If you remember right, I had my character ask the words, "Did you see Gratia?" Again, that goes back to Crystal Tower, Alliance Trades. I've done all that, and when I originally played this, I had completely forgotten about the Crystal Tower. I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I remembered it was beating Shadowbringers and then re-looking up the information, and I went, "Oh, that's where that came from. That's who these people are. That guy I remember now." My memory isn't 100% there, but I have distant glance memories of like seeing them in that Crystal Tower raid. So I have a little bit of memory on that. Not perfect, but it is there. At the same time, we do get introduced to the Crystarium. Aetherites, I kind of like the idea that they continue using them, but they follow the same mechanics. The only thing I find really weird is how they sit there and say we can go from the source and go back into between both worlds. Because it says we have a faint connection still with the source because we're physically still connected to it through our ether, but yet we can still travel to and from. I kind of like the idea that they explain it that way. That way it's like not just, yeah, you can go back and forth, no problems at all. Yeah, have fun, dog. It's just like, no, there's a reason. We explain it in depth. Then getting introduced to everybody here, like talking to the one guy who's in charge of the library, getting some knowledge about the history of what happened here at the first. Meeting the supplier, the one lady who deals with like a lot of the goods and resources and stuff. Then the one guy introduces us to how they refer to all the races in this. I do kind of find it pretty cool. It's like they change how everybody's race name is. So if you go from Realm Reborn up to Stormblood, like you know pretty much. I can't remember all the races because I haven't made a new character in so long, so my memories are out the window. But like it's like our character Makota, and I think I picked the Sunseeker one, and I think there's a Moon one, but I chose Sunseeker because I thought it looked better. Then I got cat eyes. Look at the cat eyes. I think that's why I chose it at the time, but I forget what I was doing. I actually don't even remember why I picked this character. Don't really remember. I think I made several characters, and I ended up just sticking with this one. And then I only played with this one because I thought it was the most simple, and I was able to do it real easily, like playing and using abilities and stuff. And it was never anything complicated, so I got attached to this character easily, I think, if I remember right. And then I just had no drive to ever switch her. But before we go off on that, it's like, yeah, Mistles, instead of calling like Alphino and Alizé, how I forget the source's name for it, but they call them elves. Really weird. They introduce us to Runar's race, the cat, lion, I don't remember what they're called. And then we get introduced to the V's as well, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they for the two races they only let the new cat player model. That character model you can only play as male, and for the Vise, they only let them play as female. Now I'm not entirely sure why they have it set up that way. Some people complained about it because they're just like, we don't understand why you don't let people play as both. And I don't really mind either way. I just like, I know some people want a difference. I don't really mind either way. I can see like new male characters, new female character. If you want to play as one of them, have fun, people. I don't really mind. It'd be cool to see them both as both genders, but I guess that's just the way they decided to go with it. Before we get too much further off topic, doing that, meeting up with Alizé, learning about what's going on here at the first, especially when it comes to ether corruption because of the Sin Eaters. We get introduced, really cool, really awesome, the way the things work. We have our character eat whatever food it is, and it still nearly makes them puke their guts out. Get introduced to one girl who's explaining to all... God, I can't remember her name on top of my head. I'd have to go back and watch the episode for her, but can't remember her name 100%. But seeing her switch and becoming a Sin Eater puts it in good perspective of what you are to expect in this world. If you get killed by a Sin Eater, there is a chance you will become corrupted and join their ranks. But we do see that the humanity side of her was still there. It wasn't very strong, but it was present, which is kind of cool. And to the fact that she was able to apologize to Alizé for what happened because she got turned into a Sin Eater, and then she flies off, which I guess retained her humanity because she didn't attack the one kid. So it means she had enough free will to not do that. Although, as I said during that episode, that was perhaps the most creepy ass thing I've ever seen, is her eyes going white, mouth opening up, white tears. It looked creepy as hell. When I originally saw that, I went, God damn, they went for brutality on this one. I like it. Hopelessness in the situation because you couldn't do anything. Although I find it really weird that she put her guard down so quick. You cut the damn thing, part of it, the tip of the wing off. It's still behind you. You grab the kid. You don't do anything. Why wouldn't you just grab him, pick him up, and run? That's what I would have did. But no, she gets on her knees and sits there and tells them that they have to run, and then immediately gets stabbed in the back with a sword and dies. Well, doesn't die, but changes to Sin Eater. That's really weird stuff. Between that, getting Alizé back, learning that a lot of the corruption with the Sin Eaters, eventually it can get anybody. At some point, it will get you, and when it does, you have two choices: either become a Sin Eater or commit neck rope or rope neck. I like rope neck. Rope neck works, which is you off yourself. Play the knockout game, and that's really the two choices that they have no choice but to do that, because it's either become a Sin Eater or not, and they'd rather not because they suffer if they have to become one. And then getting Alphinaud and Calucia near Eorzeea. I like the introduction to Eorzeea. I haven't played it with Alphinaud first and then doing Alizé's quest. Because I don't know if it explains still any of the information on that part, like how the Aether gets corrupted. But I do like being there because you get Alphinaud has a plan. You get to find out the town outside of Eorzeea, how bad it is. These people are getting goaded into this. It's oh yeah, we need people to do a job for our citizens. And if you have a special talent, you can come in as long as you be somebody's bitch. And I'm just no, I'll take my chances out here. Goodbye, everybody. And I just walk away from the situation, but they don't. They use the meal and everything, which is really weird. I don't know what the hell that stuff's supposed to be. Just seems like a random food, but more importantly, you learn from Alphinaud that he has that plan. We meet the one Mistle. Takes Alphinaud's plan, and it turns out it was to our favor. We were able to save the one artist who was thrown out of Eorzeea because he didn't meet the expectations that his patron or his patrons wanted. Then we get in, deal with stuff in Eorzeea. Alphinaud gets his new outfit. We kind of learn how the city works. It seems like a lot of people are very, at least from what the one woman and the one servant, it gave you an idea that they do care for each other. There is a connection there between two people. The only problem is that if you make too many if you don't do something that your patron likes, then they're going to kick you out, and then you just get nobody claims you as being a citizen, and since you're not a citizen, they just throw you out and they don't care about you, which is pretty heartless. Between that, finding out from Vol 3, the big Chungus. He is the Chungus. Much like Purple is the Chungus. And you kind of see how he is. He seems he holds himself very high when talking to people. And he seems to be over... What's the word I'm looking for? He seems very over... He just seems like a spoiled asshole. There we go. That's a terminology we can use. He thinks everybody's going to bow down and kneel before him, but doesn't seem to realize there are people that don't care about him. when Alphino doesn't listen to him and doesn't follow his directions, when our character doesn't follow his directions, when the one Mistle that he ends up getting to hurt himself with a knife quits following his directions and follows us. You see Volturi just go into a freaking temper tantrum and just start screaming because he doesn't seem to realize people will act that way towards him. He's always heard yes, no. People always listen to him. He thinks everybody is his servant and that he can do whatever the hell he wants. Till we came, in which case he came a little bitch. Which surprises you because it's like none of the people seem to be surprised that he's acting that way and don't question it. Like, if I was one of those guys up there and I seen him throw a temper tantrum, I'd probably chuckle and walk away. After that, we regroup back to Crystarium, Sin Eater attack in Lakeland, head there, save some people, which was pretty cool. I gotta say, I like the idea that you go in, you kill the one Sin Eater that ended up getting, that killed the one girl from wait, what's that place called? 1 second, I will find it. Where is that location called? It is called Almarang. Yes. You end up killing the same thing that killed her, which is really freaking cool. But at the same time, you also get to kill her. It's sad that you have to fight her, but at the same time, I see it as a mercy killing. She no longer has to suffer, no longer has to just, be a Sin Eater and attack people. And it seems like she was more happy when she does die and that your character kills her, because you kind of see the animation where she seems to be at peace and seems to be somewhat happy that you ended up doing that for her. Because no longer does she have to suffer as a Sin Eater. I do like the idea you get to see all the different Sin Eaters get spawned in if they get corrupted. Saw the Scorpion, saw the Boar, the Flying ones as always. The freaking polar bears, they were grizzly bears. That's all cool stuff. I like that. Even the final boss, really interesting final boss. I can't believe they went with that. It puts in perspective of what to expect from the Wardens. They are these huge, ugly, just disformed matters of utter mess that are there just to screw you up. They are these terrifying monsters, and in the end we end up killing them. Really cool. Then your character absorbs the light. You learn from the Exarch that is why he summoned you. He wants warriors of light to fight these things, to end them, so that the darkness can come back. That is why you were summoned here, but unfortunately it also summoned some of your comrades. After that, we get introduced to the younger Minfilia, the reincarnation of her. Deal with Yulmore in that situation. Also, we have to fight. We get introduced to Ranjeet, old bastard that will kick your ass. That Thancred comes in. Then we had the Ilmeg. Again, I like this fairy place. The fairy place was pretty with Ilmeg. It was pretty cool. It's very colorful. It pops out. I don't know if I don't know necessarily. I did not like it with the blinding light from the warden being there. It was actually pretty cool looking at that whole area with that light. It just opens up and pops. The colors are everywhere. Dealing with the fairies, now that was something that I wasn't a big fan of. I hate those things. The one ability where if you interact with different bushes, the one I interacted with still makes my character and slows them down. If you don't go to that one, you go to the other ones around near it, they all do the same goddamn thing. It sucks. So you can literally go between all those areas, get the slow down ability, and it just keeps happening. And you can't move from place to place that easily. It really sucks. Same time, dealing with that, solving the mission, or solving what they want to do, they finally use Feul. Kind of like the fact that they use her, although I can't believe they actually make you say that stuff in the say chat. Although it does bring out one of the funniest moments ever with Alphino sitting there calling Eorzea a spoiled brat. Now that was hilarious. That was golden. That was beautiful. Because I like that kind of comedy. It's just subtle but good. Just the gentle stab right in the gut. Gentle, right in the gut. And pissed her off very well. Same time, going to find Eorzeans, learning about his vision. The vision is something else, man. That vision is weird. Just sitting there seeing your character like that, dead, and then you see Alphino and Alizé not very far from you. It shows you that those two tried to stay with you till the end. Your character probably, I wouldn't be surprised if your character died trying to protect them. The only thing I don't like is the fact that even if you have glamour on, the glamour outfit doesn't show it. I think it only shows the other outfit, like your regular outfit underneath. I don't know if that's an oversight by Square Enix or how that works out, but it's a thing. I know when I originally played it and I had my character's outfit on at the time with the armors that I had, I didn't have that issue. It just showed whatever I was wearing. So it surprises me that cutscene doesn't just show the glamour. But I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a dead. Maybe because it's considering your character dead. It's using different assets. I don't know. It's very weird. Beyond that, heading into and finding the mole people. Or no, actually no, we didn't see them. Oh no, we went to, what was it? Oh my god, what was that duty finder mission? Let me find that. Doan Meg. Yes. That was the one we did. Meeting the fish people. That mission's actually pretty cool. I like that one because of the ending with the fight and everything. It's very strange because it's like your character, like they talk about your character and your character is like weirded out by it all, and you're just like, yeah, I don't like this at all. Then Ardbert wakes you up. Oh my gosh, we forgot about Ardbert. Wakes you up in the lake and then realizes you're alive and it's like, wow, you're really lucky not to be dead. They're trying to drown you, so you became like them. So I guess in the end, Sauron's blessing saved us in the end. So thank God for him. Before I forget about that though, as I said, Ardbert. I'm surprised they reused him. I like the voice actor. I like his character. I'm happy that he's here. It was strange seeing him here. It is strange, but it's understandable. Seeing he wasn't used like Minfilia used his comrades in that situation to halt the flood. But we got to know why he's still here. But we learned from him, which is nobody else sees him except for us, so we have some sort of connection with each other. Tells you that he nearly felt like he was fading away until he sensed us, which is really cool. Dealing with that, then we get to the mole people, which is really cool. I like that. That was a fun situation. Those guys just seem like they really want to help you, but you don't take too much, and you don't give them too much, but you don't give them less than what they request, which is weird. But then I think that's when we get introduced to Minfilia a little bit better. She tells you that she wants to help you do some things, and you go to the other place and get those invisible ink. Then you get introduced to their king, the Fae people's king, and oh my god, that bitch crazy. She is a creepy ass bitch. I remember watching that the first time. I'm like, you are one creepy ass bitch. Get the hell out of here. I'm gonna be glad when you die. Then we get into the Amaro, Seto, and we learn a little bit that his people originally weren't supposed to be able to talk. They regarded that ability, and then it only happens after they're alive for so long. I think they have an interaction with humans. Well, not humans in general, but man. And through that interaction, they slowly gain the ability to speak depending on how long they live. And we learned from him about Ardbert a little bit better. So Ardbert and Seto had a better connection with each other, being his mount. And he tells you that you and Ardbert are very similar in terms of the soul. So it's a little bit cooler to think about it from that, because it means that's probably why you have such a strong connection with each other. See, besides that, beating the boss. Beat that boss's ass. Really beat his ass. Then having to deal with Ranjeet again, learning that he's very powerful and pretty much nothing phases him. Which is weird as hell. Besides that, finally going back, switched my character's hairstyle because I knew it was coming in when we went to Ratika Woods. I find it really strange getting introduced to You're Stolen the way they did. I kind of like it. It's like, since she's blind, she only senses people through their ether. Everybody else there, Thancred, Minfilia, Eorzeans, Amit Selch, you can sense them easily. she knows what to look for. Our character, she knows to look for our Aether, but because we absorbed 2 Light Wardens at this time, it's corrupted, so she thought us a Sin Eater. And it seemed very cool in that situation. It lets you know that there's something going on with your character that even though you can't see it, it's happening internally. Getting introduced to the Knights Blessed, helping out Ronar, yes, before I forget his name. Helping him out, doing stuff with that. Beyond the point even with that, being introduced to pretty much that whole group. It's very interesting. You learn a lot about their rituals, their religion, how they see the dark. Getting introduced to more of Ronka, the Empire. I like that a lot. I'm trying to think there's much else to get into. Dealing with the one children, the other dark religious group. They're weird, but I like getting introduced to the murals. As I showed, it's like this is a time of the gods, time of the Ronkan Empire, and then you get introduced in the time where Arbor was alive with the one researcher. I think the time of the gods that gets introduced, even gets further explained to us with killing the Light Warden in Ratiku Great Woods. With the time of the god, you sit there and see a god or somebody standing up over it. Which I guess you could sit there and say is either Hydaelyn or maybe one of her warriors of light, as they become more and more famous. At the same time, I think it was just after that, I think Y'shtola finally transcribes that that one tablet she receives, and we learn that Ranjeet and the children are together, and they're going to work together to basically kill the Knights Blessed, find your character because they want to kill the Warriors of Darkness, and try to preserve the Light Warden. Then we go underwater, use the tablet, sit there and learn the little secret stuff, get the coin. The only thing I find really weird is the fact that the Vise is, they've waited, I think they said 3,000 years? I thought that's what it said. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Waiting for anybody to come into the woods. It's an ally of Ronka. If you know nobody's alive that can do that, why are you defending this place, you idiots? In the end, I guess it worked in our favor, but it's just the idea of people sitting there waiting for an empire, but learning more about Ronka's history is cool in and of itself. Learned it was slowly getting killed off of the corners of its empire, slowly it just began to crumble. There's nothing they could do, and eventually they got overwhelmed. There was nothing they could do in that end. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to get into with that. Doing the one pyramid, or ziggurat, whatever the hell you want to call it. Having that situation where you have to go through that area with the little maze and little cursed things, that was pretty cool. I like that. Because it gets you like into all the different traps the Ronkans use to try to keep people out. Beyond that, it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed the story at that point. Dealing with Ranjeet again, sit there and seeing how he deals with the subordinates if they don't follow his directions and how devoted he is to all three is crazy. He seems to be a really common sense guy, but it just seems like I don't know what's wrong with him. He has some issues, man. Trying to think if there's anything else. Killing a subordinate who has the antidote, using children's poison, stuff like that. I don't know if I like the idea that they used Y'shtola's one magic, being able to go into the live stream all the time. I get the reason why they used it was to keep her alive, but it's just, I don't know if I'm a big fan of it. Because the last time it happened, when we were with the Elder Seats here, she got her out, but she ended up losing her eyesight. This time around, Emmett Selch had the ability to get her out, but we don't know if there's anything she lost as a result. There's something she had to have lost because she went into the live stream. Or maybe Emmett Selch had the ability to stop that from happening because he has such a connection to being able to do that on his own. That, or maybe it was she wasn't in there long enough for anything to have a huge impact. She even came back with the clothes, so who the hell knows at that point. What else? I think that was about it for that. Getting into to the next stage, going to the Light Warden. sitting there dealing with that crap. That was pretty interesting. I like that Light Warden was actually a fun one to kill. There's a little bit more stuff to focus on. The other two bosses really aren't that hard to kill, to be honest. They're really boring in my opinion. It was just like they're so simplistic that it's just like it doesn't really take much to beat them. The last boss though was really fun to beat though. I enjoyed beating it, for my own reasons. Besides that, trying to think of anything else. Then going and learning Ronka's secrets. My thing is it's the knowledge that they protected, but I'm still very curious about the Ronkan Emperor. Were they an Ascian? Were they just a random emperor who had some prior knowledge? Maybe the emperors knew something that nobody else did, and they knew to preserve the knowledge to the best of their abilities because somebody might come that knows better than they do, or somebody who can maybe stop the cycle. Maybe it was somebody. I know they sat there and like Hydaelyn and Zodiark. Like somebody had to have known something. There's no way Hydaelyn or Zodiark don't have any influence in this. Hydaelyn had to have known something and may had an influence in these guys preserving that knowledge in case of an emergency in the future. But Emmett Selch telling us about you get to see the fall of his people as they deal with a calamity. They didn't know what to do. Like all hell's gonna break loose. So they did something and prayed for Zodiark. Zodiark, being too powerful, made people worry. Those people decided to make Hydaelyn. Hydaelyn kicked Zodiark's ass, beat it down, split him into 10 and then 3 reflections. And then that's when we get into the story we're at. We're from the source, and here we are at one of the reflections. Then we go back, talk to everybody. But more importantly, Y'shtola tells us that our Aether is becoming more and more corrupted. We currently have 3 wardens inside our character's light sphere. Inside our character. And who God knows what is going on internally. We don't notice anything, but our character is concerned about it. Along with Y'shtola, obviously Orianje's known about it for a little while longer than Y'shtola has, and he's equally worried. Although he doesn't show it. I doubt Thancred knows. Maybe Minfilia knows. Since she's got the Oracle, aka our Minfilia with her, maybe she can sense a little bit of issues, but she doesn't have full access to the powers yet, so we don't actually know. At least I'll assume she doesn't. Alphno and Alzade obviously don't know. But it's really just Y'shtola and Orianje. Maybe the Crystal Exarch. But in the end, who the hell knows with him either. But seeing as he knows a lot of stuff and probably hides a lot of stuff, we can make the assumption he does. I think that's it though. As I said, I like part 1 a lot. Part 1's fun. I like the fact they introduce a lot more dialogue options for our character. I said that's what like made Realm Reborn boring. Realm Reborn was boring because it's just like you go through maybe 1 response. Maybe. Heaven's Ward, you get a little bit more, tiny bit. You get a taste, a little bit of a taste to it. Stormblood, they do add some. Instead of your character just shaking their head yes, shaking their head no, showing a facial expression. Finally, in like Shadowbringers, they finally let your character talk a little bit, which is cool. I hope they continue that. If anybody from Square Enix watches this, keep doing the dialogue options. It's fun. I like the fact that my character can talk, instead of just shaking her head every 5 minutes when everybody asks her a question, or shaking it no when everybody asks her a question. It's that interaction that makes this game more fun, and I like it more because it means I'm interacting with this story. Although, with that, I know I have other plans. As we could sit there and see, I did this because, yes, your character has more of the Light Warden. The white hair is staying. It might grow. It might not. Depends on how I feel. One thing I ain't doing is spending $7. And that ain't $10 to get the other thingy. I don't know if I'll show... I might show it in the future. It just depends. But I know for New Game Plus, I already did all the... Where is it at? Here it is. I know there's all the Archer and Bard missions. So far in this, they had the Realm Reborn for Archer, Part 1 for Bard, Heaven's Ward Part 2 has its own Bard section, Stormblood has its own, and then Shadowbringers with the guy we interact with here. I might do that one because it is a required mission to complete for Part 4 to even be allowed to beat Shadowbringers. You have to do it. I just don't know when I'll do it. Probably do it before no, because it wouldn't make any sense. I'll probably do it after we beat the story. Up to that point. I'll probably do it after I beat Part 3, to be honest. I really don't care. I'm probably going to do all the main scenario quests, and then whenever I finish that, then we'll do it. That's what I want to do first. But beyond that, I really don't know what else to discuss. I know many of you have been sitting here patiently. Many of you just doing this, eating, having fun, listening to me talk. Many of you are probably falling asleep because you're getting bored with Demon talking all the goddamn time. I know. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. We're reaching the end. 30 minutes. Over 30 minutes. Cool stuff, ain't it? But with that, all I have to say is this. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. We come back, ladies and gents. We'll continue more of Shadowbringers Part 2. I know I started a little bit of it, but I felt like if I would have ended Part 1 where I ended it at, and then did this discussion, there wouldn't have been enough content for you guys to enjoy, and it would have been boring to watch me. And if you want to just skip this and not listen to me BS for a while, you can do that too. I figure it's a win-win for everybody. But when we come back, everybody, we'll head back to Alphino, who's awaiting our return. On the second floor of the plaza, because we have to sally forth with the remaining city guard and see if we can put an end to the Sin Eaters who are laying siege to the Crystarium. My question is who's leading them? Because the Light Wardens are dead. 3 of them are dead, especially the one in Lakeland's dead. But we have to go and make sure that we can keep the people that live in Lakeland safe from them. So, yeah, with that, do those things, guys, and I will be sure to see you next time. Thanks.